Okay guys, so we're working side mount attacks. Last week we did the near side arm. This week we're going to do the far side arm. And we're going to start here in this side mount position. Okay? The best way to attack is to take what's given to you. And the only way I can get Casey to give me something is to make him feel a lot of pressure. Okay? And I'm not going to give him a lot of pressure with my hips on the ground. So remember to keep your hips slightly off the ground. Get a deep pummel here. And keep your head down. With this pressure, normally the guy's going to try to push you off of them. If they don't, just reach around the head and get a grip and really apply some pressure. And by this time, Casey's going to want to get me off. Okay? Anytime they open up their arms and move, gives me an opportunity to submit. When he pushes on my face, it gives me an opportunity to attack that shoulder. I attack the shoulder by grabbing the wrist, driving the wrist to the ground with my body. Get my elbows to the ground and getting a grip. 5-finger grip on his wrist, 5-finger grip on my wrist, and then I'm going to pull my elbows in and down. This locks the shoulder. If you have problems with this position, it's because it's not locked. So make sure you pull your elbows in and pull your elbows down, as far down as you can go. Okay, I've got him in an Americana. Key lock is what we call it. And to finish this key lock after the shoulder's locked is very simple. But not a lot of people teach it properly, because most people teach it just by pulling up the elbow, okay? Which you can get to work, but if you apply this technique of rolling the wrist, it loads your forearms and it makes the submission a lot easier. So instead of having my wrist bent, I'm going to roll it. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Applies a lot of pressure on his shoulder. Naturally, it makes my wrist strong, my forearms are loaded. So I'm here, I pull it down, bring my elbows in, and I roll. A lot of times I'll get the tap just from rolling. If I don't, I just bring the elbow slightly to the ceiling and get the tap. Simple. Okay? So I was here, drive the arm to the ground, get the lock. 5 fingers, 5 fingers, bring my elbows in, bring the elbows down, roll the wrists. If you don't get the tap by that time, just bring the elbow slightly to the ceiling. From here, what often happens is the guy will defend by straightening his arm out like that. Then I lose the opportunity for a shoulder lock, but I gain the opportunity for an elbow lock. Okay? With my wrist bone underneath the fulcrum of the elbow, I create an opportunity here to submit him with an arm lock. Okay? Just remember though that your forearm needs to be just below or just above the bone. Okay? There's a bone that sticks out on the elbow, just come right above it right there. That's where your wrist needs to be. If you keep your wrist flat, it doesn't create a very high fulcrum, so you got to have your wrist up. We do that by turning our wrists slightly upward and bringing our elbows in. Now I've created about an 8-inch fulcrum here. So most of the time you make the mistake by just having your arms here and you wonder why it's not tapping. Bring your elbows in. That's the trick to making this move right. Also, I've got to apply pressure on the end of the arm. With my body type, I can't do it from here, so I'm going to have to get my body way out. If I just lean way out here, I'm vulnerable to get reversed. So what I'm going to do is step over the head and work my foot under the head. This gives me a great base. Now I can put all the weight needed on the end of the arm. Okay? So I've got my 5-finger grip, I bring my elbows in to create a high fulcrum. This is going to be easy. I'm going to roll the wrists first. Normally you'll get the tap with that. If not, put your forehead down on the end of the wrist and you get the tap here. Okay? From here, to defend this, your opponent's going to turn his wrist down and escape the grip. Okay? If I allow my opponent to grab his pants, I'm going to have to fight a lot harder than I want to get this next submission to work. So what you have to do is anticipate it. As he turns and defends and starts to reach, I'm going to shoulder down here and bring my arm up. Try to grab your pants. You just don't let him grab his leg. Okay? So I was here. He turns and reaches. You do this. You shoulder down and you move your arm away. Grab the wrist again. Grab the wrist here and switch. Okay? It's an easy switch. So I was here, shoulder down, grab his hand, pull it back, switch hands, switch pummels. Get the 5-finger grip. Build your frame. This is going to be the Kimura, so from here I'm going to have to step back and move my body back. Get a bent arm in a 90-degree angle. And just like the first submission where I have to get the elbow to lock the shoulder, I have to do the same with this. Instead of bringing it down, I got to bring it up. So slide your body up with it. Pull it up, bring your elbows in tight. Roll the wrists. Bring the elbow to the ceiling. Okay, let's do all 3 of them one more time. I'm here with a lot of pressure. I get the key lock by driving the arm down, get the 5-finger grip, pull him in, down, roll the wrist. He straightens his arm, I step over, dig my leg under the head, build a high fulcrum, put the weight at the end of the submission there. He turns his arm down, trap it with my shoulder, trap it with my hand, switch hands, switch pummels, step back over, get a 90-degree angle, bring my elbows in and high, roll the wrist, bring the elbow to the ceiling. That's 3 great submissions from the far side attack. Let's do it.